I've been kind of thinking a bit about what's going on, and I want to know why now? Why now with the war with Iran? Because it just bad timing. A lot of things are being exposed. Cover up. What's going on? Right? Let's find out. We're gonna hit Lenormand. We're gonna hit Tarot and hit Oracle to figure this thing out. We're just kind of get an idea of what's really going on. Typical 9 card box spread with Lenormand. Center card is a theme, and it's sitting around comms. So this is the star card, but it's also in the digital age. It calls be around communication. And so right now they really need to message that things are destabilized, even though they're not. And that if we don't act now, then you could have some type of critical actions against the United States, almost like an explosion in the sky. So this card is a star. It's usually around kind of like hope. But you see how over the city you have the star, like communication to like a network, an internet, something like that. It's like they're trying to use this as a narrative to shut things down in order to push through an agenda. That's what it feels like to me when I'm seeing here around this network type of a vibe I'm getting in this card in the 16. It almost feels like they want to, I've been saying it a lot in a lot of my readings. I'm still picked up on that vibe. Like they want to really push digital surveillance, digital ID, digital currency, digital data centers, and so forth. And there's no better way to push certain things when you're in a war with somebody, right? And that's the vibe I'm getting. And also, when you think about that, it's a 1 and 6 energy. I'm gonna look at it as a 7, and the 7 can be deceptive as well, where they skew the truth, and that's exactly what we're feeling here. Because the 7 has two meanings, right? It means observation in a sense, but also means secrecy or false truths. Okay, the 7 is the opposite meaning, and that's exactly what I'm feeling here. And then the corners are reading that. Oh, it's interesting. So the way this works is this is your theme, right? So it's around the communications, and again, this is messaging. They have to message something about a new power or toppling down a power, so somebody else comes into power, right? Look what they did in Venezuela, the same type of thing going on right now. So right now they have to make the move to bring every power down and put another power in place. Who's going to place the Middle East now? Israel is. That's the vibe. And then that's going to strengthen the networks. That's going to strengthen the stability in the region. That's why they did it now, because they're basically putting something in play under the covers. They're bringing in new powers around the world, and they're bringing in new strengths for those in charge. So it's almost like they're trying to wipe out democracy and definitely destroy a republic, which the United States is supposed to be, and bring in this. It feels like an oligarch, like very strong and powerful, and you're going to do what we say. That's what I'm feeling here. So that's what this explosion or this networking is going to do. Is going to bring in a oligarch to rule. And then here again, you have the moon card 32, 5, and it's going to put a lot of people in pain because it's going to put them, it feels like it's going to put them in a restricted space because 5s also can be restriction. And when you look at this here, like they're being forced over this cliff, over this, it looked like a waterfall or something, into this city. It almost reminds me of like a smart city type of a vibe to it. You know, that's what the card feels like to me. So again, too, I'm not reading traditional Lenormand here at all. I'm reading the face value of the cards, how they're feeling. So this also can mean renown, right? So this new messaging makes them important, or this new messaging can make other people feel very delusional in a sense. And what I mean by that, put on a false narrative, people buying a certain narrative, which makes them delusional. It's a false reality. Okay, that's what the moon can also have, that type of vibe as well. So that's what I'm feeling here. And then when we look at when we look at all the cards here, what's going on under the covers is why now is because they have to kind of bring in the shadows a new regime change. That's the heart, a new life, a new lifeblood into the region that's going to have dominance. A tree has deep roots and you cannot really knock it down very easily. And so that's what I'm feeling here. And I just noticed too, this card is a 5 as well. Okay. 32 is a 5. Now, that's kind of going on in the shadows. That's like the real objective here is to reposition Israel as the ruling force in the Middle East. But what's really happening is that, see, they're bringing in this type of venom that's going to censor all communications to then allow them to say what they want. It's kind of like a free gift to them now. See red and white, the hand being Hannah. So now the red the propaganda, it becomes a new truth to the white hand, right? That's how I'm reading that card right there. And that gives them control, the 9. All right. So, and the gift is actually toxic for people because it's going to shut down speech, it's going to shut down communication. Then on the top line is what's known. What is running all this thing is that they have to see. This is interesting too, because it's like they're saying, if you don't do it, we're telling you right now, we're going to expose what you have done. And so this card here, I'm feeling like blackmail in a sense, because you have a letter with blood on it, blood money, right? Something bad, and an envelope on top, which means it's not opened yet. So even though the message is out there, and this writer was going to bring the message that could destroy the king, the power. All right. So why are they going to war right now? Because they're trying to push something new on the world. They're trying to rezone it, is what it kind of feels like to me. What are your thoughts? Are you feeling the exact same type of energy that I'm picking up on here right now? Again, I don't read futures. I'm reading energy. That's the energy I'm picking up today, right now. Could change tomorrow, but that's what I'm feeling. Now let's go ahead and pull an oracle card and just kind of see how this lines up. So we got interesting card there. We have Entropy. It almost feels like with this card that they want to bring the entire area down to rebuild it how they want. And that's the reason for the war right now, is that they need to move quick while the iron is hot and they got the right people in place to just collapse the region, to devastate it so they can rebuild. You know what's funny too about that? I know this is in Iran, but even in Palestine, for example, what did? They leveled it. Gaza and whatnot. Why? Because they want to build a new, like a luxury site on that place. I saw some articles on that. I can't remember what it was, but like Trump's involved in it. I believe his son-in-laws, other people are involved in it to basically rebuild it up in this new type of a city type of environment. And that's what they're doing. It's almost like they're wiping out the entire Middle East to take control of everything. That's the feeling that I'm getting right now. And so that's why they did it. But why right now, though? Because you have to strike when the iron is hot. That's the message is kind of I'm feeling right now. That's the energy. You strike while the iron is hot. And then you look here, it's like this entity is just destroying everything. One entity is controlling everybody else. What else we got here? Moral panic. Yeah, and then people are up in arms about it because we're seeing now that they need to have chaos. So one thing too is interesting about that picture there, moral panic. It's almost like they're trying to bring in an apocalypse sort of a vibe is what I'm getting, just because of what the cards look like, you know? Now let's pull some tarot cards to see if this is even on the same lane or what. All right, so now this is the zombie tarot because I thought it'd be in a great deck to use with this situation. So we have the 7 of Wands. Feasting on the dead. When you destroy a nation, you feast on it, and what you bring it back up again. What's funny about this too is what was going on before the war. They had to hide what was going on. The Epstein files, eating humans. And isn't that funny how this card comes up? That's the 7 of Wands. It's their passion. It's their desire to just be cannibals, be vile. And so the war had to happen to hide this fact too. So the 7 people, they didn't want people observing it anymore. So you had to hide it. They had to give you something else to distract you. Then you have the Knight of Hazards. That's the Pentacles, I believe, the Hazards. That's the earthly realm, right? And so, yeah, see the moon there too? That's like the subconscious mind, and the car hitting the light pole right there is like they need total chaos, destruction of everything. And see the person even chained in the car. So it's almost like they're forcing people into locations to destroy them. It's like it's pre-planned because the person's already handcuffed to the wheel, and then the wheel crashes. The car crashes. That's interesting. That's interesting. So why now? To destroy everything, even to maybe bring in a digital society that can't even drive anymore. Destruction of vehicles, destruction of transportation, where you use these electric vehicles that are self-driving, and the only way you can do it is by bringing in a whole new power structure and new infrastructure. So you have to get rid of the old one to bring in the new. It feels like a total change of power and a total change of hand in the Middle East to restructure it in their own way. Okay. The last card. Wow, another Pentacle card. Page of Hazards. It's very reckless energy. It's just going to do whatever it wants and destroy everything in its path. And it's going to control everybody. See the news? So it even wants to have it where it censors the world. It wants to have total censorship. And a war is a good way to do that, because when a war is blazing in the foreground, they can pass things in the background that you won't see because you're not focused on it. And they can pass in draconian type of laws and legislations, at least here in the States, through the entities that fund our politicians. So that's what I'm seeing is why now is because they want to make the change sooner than later. It's like they felt like they're running out of time to make this play, and so they have to do it right now. And that's, I think, why, too, you're seeing all these data centers pop up. You're seeing Palantir buying up all these other places that have failed a little bit to come in and use it for their surveillance system. Very dark reading. Let me roll some dice here. Yep, 7. That's interesting. So 7 of Wands here. And they're going to destabilize through communication. And that 7 means they're going to basically just lie about everything. They're going to fabricate. They're going to push agendas, propaganda that is not true, in order to make sure that they can push their agenda forward without anybody stopping or blocking it. That's exactly what I'm seeing. So that's why they're doing it, guys. They want a new world in their vision. They want a new world in their mindset, and the people are locked down to do whatever they're told, and they need to hide everything they've been doing so they can continue to move on without any accountability. Anyway, that's what I got. That's my reading for you for today. Hope you enjoyed it. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let me know what you think. I'd love to hear it. Agree, disagree is okay. But again, too, I'm not left or right, so I don't have any bias either way. I do a lot of research, as you probably know already from watching my videos. And so I come into these with a lot of ideas in my head, but I want to have the cards in the universe tell me what's kind of going on by revealing to me the way the energy is shifting from day to day. Again, this could change tomorrow, but right now, this is what I'm feeling, and it isn't feeling very good. Anyway, that's all I got. And until next time, I would like to see you in my next video. Bye, everybody. Have a beautiful rest of your week.